Maybe I am that old hippie you want to meet on the road. Or maybe you want to meet this guy. Hey, I got your back. Check it out. All right, I keep getting asked all the time, what do you take with you? How do you live on a bike? That's impossible. Well, a lot of you already know how to do this. You've been doing it, and some of you don't. And I thought, well, now you don't have to wonder what's in all my bags when I'm out on the bike in some of these videos, or just hanging around. You see all my stuff. It's a little longer of a video, so you can skip through. I'm going to do it in segments, and I'll tell you right now how I'm going to do it. From clothing, my footwear and all that, to cooking, electronics, and then the bags, and then the bike. We'll talk about the bike. I have a bike in South America, a Jamis Aurora, but we'll get over to the bike at the end, and I'll talk about how I load it. And it's a little windy today, bear with me, a little bit of noise out here. And I'm just going to show you what I own. This is everything I own except for one box about this big that I keep here at base camp in that shed that you see in some of my videos. And I'll show you first my footwear, because my feet, I wear shorts most of the time. You've probably seen that in videos. But my feet and my upper torso, that's what I want to regulate my temperature with. I wear Chacos almost all the time, and some people don't believe me. Almost 20 years of nothing but Chacos. And so how do I do that in the cold? Well, I've always got Smart Wool socks, that combination. And if it gets real cold, I'm going to use these neoprene booties with the sock. I've had cold feet, but I just don't wear shoes. My feet get colder in shoes because they hold in all the moisture. If I do wear shoes, I do have Ultra. They're my favorite shoes. There's many different kinds of these shoes. Look at mine, are getting worn out. But that's the shoe. I'll hike in these. I'll hike in my Chacos. But as far as footwear goes, I mean, that's it for me. Unless I'm doing something special and I have to, get some boots or something for a climb or whatever. And I have something stashed here and there throughout the world. But mainly, this is everything I own. This is what I operate with. Everything down to the camera and the computer that I'm using to film with right now, and Central Command, my stuff over there. We'll get over to the electronics. Gloves, 2 pairs. I used to carry a lot more. I have some over gloves. I'll show you in a little bit. But I have a, basic pair of cold weather gloves for the morning or cool weather. And then I have my waterproof gloves, kind of like the socks that I have. And these are just, you can get all this stuff on Amazon. Some stuff I'm picky about, other things I'll just get on Amazon, find it, send it to the next place I'm going to be, or here when I'm coming back here from wherever I've been, South America or whatever. That's the footwear. I always have a pair of flip-flops for like when I'm traveling. I take showers all over the place, like campgrounds and whatnot. I never get in barefoot. I protect my feet by wearing these. And these here are great. I can actually hike a little bit in these. These are kind of a new thing for me. And so that's the footwear and the hands. The important part. We'll get to the torso in a minute. But, it's hot and cold where I am. So the daytime can be pretty warm. And my sun protection is one thing. And I have this. It's like just a sun jacket. I love this thing. If it's hot, it's no good. Sticks to your skin. But if it's the right temperature, this thing is great. I have these to protect my arms for the sun. And those are they slip on your arms. Those 2 things there, and my head, protecting my kind of bald forehead, receding hairline. I have a lot of stuff for my head. Hats. I don't usually use high visibility hats. Somebody gave me one. I stick it on the bags on the back of the bike just to be visible. I'm a believer in these. Not the big foam tubes. Anyway, another hat. Just the toolkit down here. And I'm making separate videos for all this stuff, but toolkit, that goes everywhere. The toolkit's in every bag I have. And then over here, I'm just going to show you my torso protection and leg wear. And you've seen some of these coats in the videos. But I wear shorts, and I'm going to show you exactly what I bring for. Let's take our shoes off. Stay a while. Shorts, I have 2 pairs I bring with me, and then I bring some swim trunks. This is for the, the trips. I'm like gone all summer, all fall, whatever. I'm going to bring, I love these. These are just the Jerry, and they got the bigger pockets down here. I don't like huge pockets. I don't need them. And I don't like my pockets full of stuff. But I do want to carry stuff a little bit longer, shorts. I don't want little short shorts, like those dolphin shorts or anything. And then these are for like swimming or, hot springs stuff, whatever. And I don't use Speedo shorts. And then when I'm traveling, this is extra stuff, like shorts are mandatory, but here's some extra stuff. I take one nice shirt. The thing about the way I live is I can buy stuff as I go. I don't have to haul everything with me, especially if I'm in another country where, things like t-shirts like this are cheap. Things like this are cheap. Thrift stores, I'm all for it. I hit those up when I need something. And then a pair of nicer pants, I'm going to visit some friends, go out to dinner or something, whatever. I'm going to want to have something like that. But I just take one set of those. Then I have my nice jacket that I wear anywhere, no matter what. Just one. Sometimes I'll bring a packable jacket, but this one has proved it's got a nice hood on it. You've probably seen it in some of my videos. But yeah, and I like for biking, I don't want a big hood. I want it to be tight around my head. So, this thing is perfect for that. I just have this, and I just stick it over like that, zip it up, and it's a little bit tired, because when you're riding, it'll just blow off if it's too loose. And it fits over the helmet as well. So, that's a North Face. You can get that on Amazon, but, I'm not, right now, none of this stuff was given to me, so I'm not promoting anyone. I'm just showing you what I have, what I take with me. Here's my shell for riding in the mist or the rain. If it rains so hard, everything's going to soak through eventually, right? So, but this has been great. I like the back ventilation. It's made for cycling. Long back. So you want that long back if you can. Another nice tight hood. And that's my shell. This is made by, you know what? I'm going to show you these guys, because I like that product. Anyway, there's the shell. And then the pants. Well, I go through a lot of pants as far as wind and rain. Like tents. They're like tents for me. And I haven't found anything durable enough to handle me yet. Tectonic Traveler. And I just tear things up. Anyway, Frog Togs, really inexpensive on Amazon. You've seen them I wear them in the Northwest in this last few trips ago. And the only thing is they get this little fuzz on them on the outside. But other than that, they're waterproof. I always have something for the cuff. And that's pretty much my clothing for my torso and my legs. And there's always something extra, right? But the cold weather comes. Here we go. And I got to pull this little bag out. And this little bag here, and at the end, I'm going to pack all this stuff and show you how it all looks on the bike. Because you're probably looking at it going, how in the world do you carry all that? It's not bad. It's better than not having it. I probably 3 or 4 pairs of these Smart Wools when I'm out for the long hauls. A nice warm hat here. Something like this, I like that. Even though I never wear it. But it is good to have a hat. And then this I wear on cold mornings going downhill. This balaclava by Rock Bros. Their stuff's okay. Some of their stuff, their gloves and clothing, but their panniers are a little cheap. And 3 pairs of riding shorts, padded ass shorts. And then that's about it for the clothing, I'll stop and buy stuff if I have to. But the one thing I will do is always have like a tent for me in the tent, even riding sometimes. This one pair of icebreaker pants. They're like sweats, but they're not really sweats. I mean, you could wear these out, if you want to, with your chacos, look pretty styling. But, I just like them for all around, and they keep you warm. Icebreaker, I'm a true believer. And natural fiber shirts. I always like to buy those, and this is not that I'm wearing, but if I'm traveling or biking or sweating a lot, I want to wear natural fibers. nano product thing. But you know, I have to use what I have a lot of times. So it's important that I always stress you don't have to have all this stuff to do what I do and to go out. You've probably seen my man purse, right? And it's got like my passport and stuff like that in there, and all my important stuff, my personal protection stuff in there, bear spray. You know, this little spray here, it's worthless. I mean, it's good for a little squirrel or something maybe. I don't want to squirt animals, but I do carry this. This thing is really great. This horn here will scare the living daylights out of anything or anyone at the very right time. I carry those two things, you know. Those are really important. And I actually have those mounted on the front of the bike. But if I'm cruising around somewhere, I put them in here. I wear a watch. I do wear a watch. Even though I have the phone and all that stuff, I still wear a watch. I have a water purifier, a real one, a filter over there in the cooking kit. But I have the straw. It's always in here in the man purse in case something really goes down. And I got to have something, you know, with me, and I forgot that. This here goes right by my head in my bed with everything. And another important item in here that you've probably seen, or maybe you haven't, is a can opener. Look how little it is. You've seen these if you were in the service or a Boy Scout, and that's a can opener. You can learn how to use those. I even put this in here. This is for, you know, getting ready to take off. And I even fly with that. They never say anything. Can opener. I don't eat a lot of canned stuff, but you never know when something happens. You'll need the can opener. And then I have my CB radio that I can contact whoever I leave the other one with. And then my knife. And that stuff here, that, you know, I try not to load it up too much. Then you can't find anything. That's what I carry on me. I got my clothing covered there. And I will say my sleeping and my tent all goes in one big bag, and I'll show you at the end of the video why. And that's already packed, and that's over there in the panniers. Now meet those guys, the Ortlieb panniers. Let's get into the toiletries real quick before I finish up, and we're almost to the bike and central command, which is another important part. Toiletries. Now, I like these little Sea to Summit bags. They're lightweight, waterproof. But I've had these things that were sent to me, and there is a couple things that were sent. Carhartts, and they're little, you know, they're guys, whatever, shaving bag, shower bag. Well, I got two of them, and I love these things for, you know, I've got my shower stuff in this one here, you know, cleaner, face cleaner, all that stuff, deodorant, if you're a guy like me, or a gal, whatever. You want to be, you know, when you go out to dinner and put on that nice shirt, you want to have that stuff with you. And, you know, I have my brush. I've got a little mirror. Well, we won't go into what's in the little bags other than, you know, some first aid stuff, a little bag. I've got big first aid emergency kit over there, fingernail clippers, all that kind of stuff. They go in there like that. And I always take extra glasses. If I'm out for a long time, what if I break my glasses? And I take probably too many. I keep them in here. This is just one of those wipes, you know, clean wipes right there. Here's some glasses. And I don't want to crush those things when I pack them. So I'll put those inside of there. And that's kind of all that stuff. Now we're going to move into the kitchen real quick and central command, all the electronics. Hey, one last thing on the bathroom bag, hygiene, is I take a lot of razors in one of these, and because I don't know how long I'm going to be gone. But, you know, extra weight, yeah, I take one of these. Maybe you've seen me in my video shaving away, waiting to get sponsored by Manscaped or somebody. But take one of these so I can just take care of myself as I go, and then I'll recharge it. And this thing here, it recharges my power banks, and which will recharge this. So we'll get into power and central command, communications and information and all that kind of stuff. Now, of course, we all have a headlamp if we're hiking. There's my dirty old pencil. And then I have this for reading. I like this here, and so I don't always have to wear this on my head. It gets kind of itchy. So I keep that with central command and or over there. Then the other thing is solar. We're talking about solar. I just carry this little 28 watt. I'm able to keep charged up because I have several power banks, man. Here's my weight. Right, look at that. But it's worth it for me because I'm out doing stuff and I'm editing and I'm doing whatnot, and I like to have all that stuff charged up. But this thing, I don't ever plug it into my phone or my pad or my computer. I always charge up a power bank with this. Sun like this, it would take all day to charge probably this one here. But it's worth it because if I'm out for a while, I'm using the other stuff, that one's charging, and then I'm good to go. So that's important for me to always have a backup power. And you can get better ones than this. This is just what I have. I take my laptop, which I'm filming with right now, talking to you, and then I have my iPad. This is my backup for anything that goes wrong with the computer. A lot of this stuff will stay at base camp or somewhere. If I'm in the Sierras, I'll hide this stuff, and you'll never find it. I have places to leave things, also in other countries, so I would stash some things. And also my two important books, the one I wrote, and then this one about the High Sierra. So anyway, we won't get into that. Central command is really what I was talking about, and that's this little bag here with all the power banks. The camera I've made videos about that I leave mounted outside my tent in a tree if I need to. I can just look on my phone, see what's going on outside the tent. A lot of videos about this stuff, but going through the bulk of it right now. Another important item is this AM FM radio, believe it or not. I know you got one on your phone. If you're Generation X, like I'm borderline, I'm not a boomer, but Generation X, then the phone, it's okay, but you classically need one of these for the weather and the news. And this is a little big. You can get smaller ones, but I like my phone or my radio. Extra batteries, cords, everything in here. That's central command. You can add things, take things away. Hey, there's the bug stuff. Highly toxic. Don't use it much. Tripod. I know I need a smaller one. And then these things. I don't take all these, but I do take. This is my water, and then I buy water. I have another water bottle. So I take, depending on, it's regional. If I'm going out in the desert, I'm going to take extra water, even a gallon jug. I'll buy one. I do take this. I fill it with hard pack ice, like the kind that's in a snow cone, crushed ice. Pack it, and it'll last a long time. I add a little water. In the summertime, that thing will save me on some certain days. Or I'll just put coffee in it. I've got my stove. I just use the jet boil coffee. And that's it for me. Lasts for a long time. I'm not real particular about that. I know you can get real particular about stuff. First aid. That's personal. Got to make one. Emergency cache. Special little food items, emergency items in here. Real quick, I'll just open it up. Not everything is in here that you would need, but I do have little packets I use for like ketchup, mustard, and all that kind of stuff I pick up along the way. I have these little protein honey and peanut butter packs. Stuff like that, protein. I have some mashed potatoes in there, some tuna, emergency. I made videos about all this. So check out my past videos. And also, in the comments, let me know what you're interested in hearing more about. Hey, and please like and subscribe. We're going to keep going here into part 2 of this right now. And some containers, for whatever. I use these for certain things. I don't take a lot of them. You can buy those as you go. Things I don't want to get smashed. Obviously I don't have an expensive bike. I do have a really nice bike down in South America, the Jamis. But this sort of fell into my life. It was a last minute thing. I wasn't even going to tour. Now, it's a long story. I've made videos about it before. But one day I was like, okay, it's May. I just got back from Colombia. I'm not going back down for a little bit. And my daughter said, hey, Dad, I've got this bike. It's my ex-boyfriend's, and we're just going to give it away or throw it. Oh, no, you're not. Let me come and look at it. So I went to look at it. It's a Rockhopper, which I would never normally tour on. I thought, I won't tour on it, but I'll take it and fix it up. So then I was like, okay, I'll get some of these Rock Bro panniers. This was the last minute, and I wanted to just go on a trip. I was desperate to just take off. My bike was in South America. This would just be a great bike for up here, you know. And I also have one in Northern California that's not even as nice as this. And so I bought these cheaper Rock Bros. They're okay, but they kind of come apart easy and stuff. And I still use this one. I'll tell you how in a minute. But then I took a tour of the Eastern Sierra. Now, this is about 4 years ago. And I bought the racks, and then I kind of upgraded, and I got a heavier duty, more spokes. Hey, if you're going to tour like me, carry a lot of extra weight in the back, bigger spokes. Now, this is not a steel frame. Most people wouldn't tour on this. They're like, what, you're touring on that? I love it. Now, for me, I had to put the Brooks saddle on it. That's personal. That's a great saddle to have. You don't know. Leather, hammock for your butt bones. And then I put front racks on it because, you know, for me, I would rather have rigid forks. And, of course, I need new pedals. People make comments about all the stuff I need. But this is to just let you know how I am. I don't have expensive stuff. And you don't need it. To get rolling, you don't need it. You just need to have something you can depend on, have it tuned up, and have some good wheels, tires on it. Now, these tires were last minute. They're like folding, you know. I don't even buy these tires. I buy Marathon Schwalbe. But anyway, they've been working great for this. I like a little bit of something for the road and the gravel in between. Now, bike packers put the bags, you know, like I do, and I did for a little while. But I can't get in the bag quick enough. And so, you know, I decided I'm going to put the racks on. This is not a normal setup that you see. I bought these. You can get them on Amazon that attach to your forks. When you're touring, you don't want a lot of weight on the frame and pushing down on these. But I kind of balance the best I can, and I like having a little bit of this cushion for now. And I put these on here so I can get into my bags. I'm not riding narrow trails like some people, but I want to be able to get into my bags quick. And it's just easy. I can take them right off, boom, you know, unpack, whatever. It's the way I learned, the way I've always traveled. And I like having the bags on the front. But that's a personal thing. I like having these cup holders up here. I have 3 of them. Sometimes I have more. I've got a little one at the top. And that keeps, you know, I keep things in that. And those right there. Things I need, even snacks. I'll keep some snacks in there and things like that. Yeah, I should have 2 maybe on the front and, you know, make all sorts of changes to the drivetrain and my transmission, I call it. But right now, just the heavier duty, more spokes in the back is, hey, I'm talking thousands of miles now. I put a new bottom bracket in because I ride a lot. Look at the pedals. These were in good shape when I started. Yeah, I need the bigger flat pedals, but, you know, I'm so used to them, I don't even notice it. Makes my legs stronger. I don't use clips. I want to be able to bail the bike. I ride a lot of logging or roads with logging trucks, narrow shoulders with gravel all the time on the shoulder, and I've had to bail the bike with clips. I don't like it. I don't like being attached and going down. I mean, yes, people will say, well, you can just detach. You can do it. Well, you can. Okay, but maybe it's easier for me to bail without those on. And, you know, as far as the uphill momentum with my heavy load, I don't have any problem. And it's good for me. So I just leave it the way it is. And when I get new pedals, and I had a sub even say, hey, I got a bunch of new pedals. I'm going to send you a pair. And that was really nice of them. And I can't, Yukon or something. I can't pronounce your name. I'll put it in the description. Thank you. And so those things, you know, just I get as I go. You don't need all this fancy stuff. You don't need the Ort lead bags like I have, although they're really dependable. Oh, about the handlebars. Yeah, you know, drop-down bars. I'm so used to drop bars, that I was like, okay, I can't do straight bars. But I found that me on gravel roads, U.S. Forest Service roads, I wanted this setup where I can be like almost like I ride with those drop bars and still have access to everything I need here. But I ride like this most of the time. And I know these are funky looking, but it's all personal, and my wrists are bad from construction. and these help me. This helps me. I never have any wrist problems anymore, ever. And only if I hurt myself doing construction. And so I ride this motion, and I love it. I'm able to get my arm length exactly where I want it. So that's how I ride. I don't have any problems with my bike seat because I pay attention to how it's adjusted, and I ride a certain way, so I don't have any like crotch problems, butt problems, or prostate issues. Thank God. I'm 60, so I'm very lucky. Now, packing the bike. I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm not going to do how I balance it, what I put in each bag, but I will show you because that's kind of a personal thing. I do want to balance the weight from the front and the back, but I'll have one bag on the front, and then we'll talk about balancing the load. So I got the front bag, the back bag. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of heavy stuff like electronics in the front bag, and some heavy stuff in the back too. But access is a big deal, and I never get it right. After years and years, I'm just like always up, that's not in the right place. So I would say instead of worrying about having the right thing in the right place, just worry about distributing the weight. And that just means, like things like water and toiletries and electronics, they're kind of heavy sometimes, lotions and all that crap, and just whatever. Balancing a little in the front, because that front weight is good. As much as you can do the front weight uphill without getting squirrely, that's why I like straight bars on gravel roads. You want to be able to keep it straight and get in that groove. And the front bags, load them to the point where, if you're getting squirrely like that, make them lighter. But on the rolling hills, and when you get the right places, that weight in the front and the back, it gives you momentum. And you're out there, all of a sudden, you're gaining momentum. That's one thing I always say: momentum, movement in your whole life is the bike getting momentum, not sitting around. Even if you can't ride a bike, just walking outside a little bit. But that's how I use the bags. Now, the one thing I do not put in the bags normally is my tent and my sleeping bag and my pad. I'll show you. I keep that. Now check it out. A lot of people they have trunk bags. These are, big bags you put on the top, on the back. But I use this old pannier from Rock Bros. Hey, you never know when your pannier is going to give out on you. Then I got an extra one, right? It's also great because it has a handle on it and everything. But I put my tent, here's my tent and everything, and I don't even really stuff it in one bag. I just stuff it all in, then the sleeping bag, and then I do it up like this. Of course, it's a little more full than that. And then after the back is loaded, I load the trunk bag like that. And it looks all kind of wonky right now, but that's my trunk bag. It's just an extra pannier. Then I could get somewhere and I can just toss that bag off, get my tent set up, and then I don't have to get into the other bags. So I have to eat, change clothes, go do the shower thing, and that sort of situation. So that's pretty much how I roll here and how I live on a bike. Before I load the trunk bag on, I have both the side bags on, and I feed two of these straps. Two of these. There's just one there now. I'm going to wait on the other one. I got to find it. And then I put my trunk bag on. And then I strap it down. The standard look. Please like and subscribe.